house that is haunted. Right from the start, dear, built on an acre of sand.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us once again. I'm Zeta.
And I'm Kelly. And you're listening to Two Sides and the Truth.
I just want to say thank y'all again for joining us. We got a few little stories for you today, and we have a special guest.
Can't wait. It's going to be so much fun.
It's a good one. Y'all are going to really enjoy our guest. That's all I'm
so
gonna say.
listen, don't skip this one.
No, yeah, he's a good one. You'll hear us discuss him from time to time on the podcast, so it's like you get a little peep of him.
Yeah.
And we're going to just kind of catch you up on what's going on. We later on in the episode, we're going to talk a little bit about going to Al's Christmas party.
That was so much fun.
It was fun. But first, I'm talking deer, y'all, because every time I post about the deer, y'all get really excited. Or about Rick. There's many of them that are fans of Rick.
I think I'm more excited about the deer.
Well, it has to do with Rick and the deer. So, Rick went hunting the last few days. He's been gone since Wednesday. He's living his best life. So he was gone Wednesday through Sunday. He's been going almost every weekend, every other weekend. He's gone all the time deer hunting. If his daughter's not home, he's deer hunting.
I love a man with a hobby.
He's got a few, idle hands, what is it? Idle hands do the work of the devil.
Yeah, something like that.
He always quotes that. And he always.
But I know. But if yours are always busy, how do you know that they're not busy doing the work of the devil? Mine are always busy, so I just assume it's probably not a good thing.
Yeah, well, he's assuming the other. He always tells me that he is that he works directly for Jesus, and he is a warrior. And if that requires him to do things that are unethical, it's okay because it's for Jesus. He really does.
That man. All I can do is shake my head.
That sums this man up.
Well, at least he's trying.
Yeah, he's trying. Anyway, so he has gone deer hunting, and he was very excited because he got his second doe of the season. And
Woo-hoo!
I know. Yay. More deer meat.
Yay, deer meat.
I love deer meat, first off. I do. I was raised on it. But I don't want it 4 or 5 days a week. And if it was up to him, we would eat it 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So the last time we did the podcast and I didn't make dinner, I think it was another podcast. I didn't make dinner because I usually make dinner on weeknights. And I didn't make dinner because I had too much going on. So I was feeding me and the kids and he was feeding himself. And I come home and he has made himself, like we went and got like Taco Casa. And he has made himself deer heart fajitas. Like full on fajitas. Like he has the onion, the bell pepper sliced up like they do at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Seasoned.
He's doing it up right.
It smelled delicious. I'm not eating deer heart. I had to put my foot down.
Have you ever eaten deer
Yes,
heart?
I have as a child. And I don't recommend. I don't recommend any heart unless you're like starving and you need a source of food. And like liver. If you like liver, you'll probably like heart. Mm-hmm. No, thank you. And no. And so disgusting. So he kills his second one, but he hasn't brought home the meat from the first one because anytime that you go and kill a deer, you got to take it immediately to the processing place. And then, it's deer season, so they're getting a lot of deer. So it takes a little bit. So he goes in there and you get to order, like, for those of y'all don't know, I'm over explaining for those that hunt, but you get to like decide what you want from your deer. Like I want some ground hamburger meat. Hamburger meat, I guess, deer venison meat, or stew meat, or we did last night steak fingers, fried steak fingers, and it's just like chicken fried steak, but it's deer. Yeah. And I don't even tell my kids it's deer, and they have no clue. And my son last night, I thought he was going to lose his mind over dinner. He was the happiest I may have ever seen him over dinner last night. He was like, I'm definitely eating leftovers. Like, I don't like leftovers, but I'm eating this. So we like deer, but Rick gets giddy. And so he comes home and he's brought the meat from the first deer. So he dropped off the second deer, brings home the meat from the first deer.
Yeah.
And has the second deer's heart in a Ziploc bag as he gets home. And he's like walking around the house trying to make me look at it. I'm like, I don't even want to look at that heart. Like, no, thank you. No, thank you. So he starts bringing in all his meat and, it's all frozen. Like they prepare it and then they freeze it immediately until you pick it up,
Yeah.
So he brings in all his meat and he takes all his other meat out of the deep freezer to make room for his new meat so that he can have like all his deer together and his beef separate and whatever. Because he also has a butchered cow in there. That's another story. And so
y'all are set on
we are set on red meat. I'm like, can we have some chicken? Shrimp?
Shoot a chicken, please.
Please, man. He gave up the chickens when he moved in with me, and I'm regretting that decision because we could have some chicken. So I'm like, I leave the room. I'm cooking when he gets home. So I leave the room and then I come back and he is literally giddy like a little kid. You see how he is. He's silly sometimes. He's taking his, like the hamburger meat comes in like a roll, like as if you buy sausage, like breakfast sausage, I guess, the tubes. And it's frozen, so it's hard. And he has stacked it in the bottom of the freezer into a large triangle. Mm-hmm. And he's put everything else like items together. Mm-hmm. And he's so proud of how organized he is with his meat.
I can't. I'm sorry.
I'm not kidding. This is my life now. This is my life now. And so I'm just like, you're real happy about that meat. And he was like, I am so happy. I was like,
that's good.
Yeah. I mean, so
little provider. That's amazing.
He is quite the little provider. I find
that to be a very attractive trait.
It is, but anyone need deer meat? No. I was like, babe, is there a problem if I gave some? No, you cannot give it to anybody. I mean, okay, I'm sorry. And stop making so much food. There's so many leftovers. You know, your coworkers, you don't have to feed them for them to like you. That's what he told me the other day. Because I always feed my coworkers.
Yes, you do.
I was like, I mean, it helps.
It sure does.
That's what I'm saying.
Every time somebody brings something into work,
you like them a little better.
It's like and I'm like, I love you so much.
I know.
I could kiss you, but I would get written up. So we're just gonna high five
real quick over this.
Thank you so much.
It's funny. I work with a real eclectic group of people. Like we have a little bit of pretty much every race, and you know, there's not a lot of females. There's only 2 girls, but we have a lot of different types of, you know, races and such. Everybody gets along great. I have a very cohesive work. But they have an ongoing joke because I have a Hispanic guy that works there that only eats Mexican food. Like that's all he eats is Mexican food. And he's young. He's like 25. And so we have an ongoing joke about it. And he'll try other food, but like, you know, he has his own food truck. Like he's all about the Mexican food and has some really good stuff. He brings it in. So I bring in chicken spaghetti in a crock pot like maybe 2 weeks ago. And he went in there and he looked at it. And it wasn't even cooked it was cooked already, but it wasn't like hot again. I made it the night before. It was leftovers. And I just came in and plugged it in so by lunchtime it'd be ready to go. You know? Just on warm, you know. And so he goes over there and he looks at it and he takes a scoop of it and puts it on a plate. I said, it's not done. Like, it's got to be done. What are you doing? This is weird looking. This is some white people shit right here. I was like, it really is. Like, you know, you're right. Like, I mean, I'm sure that's where it came from. Someone up Midwest, something. I don't know. I was like, you're right, but it tastes really good. You're going to like it. And he was like, I don't know. I don't know. I was like, well, if you're lactose intolerant, you're not going to like it later.
Warning. Stay with that one scoop.
Right. I said, but I wouldn't eat it yet. Let it warm up. So he heated it up in the microwave. It's not the same thing. And then a few hours later, he ate a bowl of, like, once it was done. He was like, man, I guess I like white people food. Yeah. That was pretty good.
Dude, I like white people food. I tell you what, I get down with some chicken spaghetti.
That's what I'm saying.
It's good.
So at one time, my friend Mike came from California. I had a friend, Bethany, was dating this guy, Mike, and Bethany passed away. And so when he would fly to Dallas, he would always take his time out to hang out with me. And because I was his only connection to Bethany, really. And so he now lives here. Hi, Mike. His wife listens to the show.
What's up, Mike?
What's up? And so Mike comes in and I'm like, I'm going to feed you. He's from California. I'm going to feed you some Southern food. You're going to get here. I'm going to hook you up. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like talking up. I am going to cook for Mike. I forgot to put the chicken in the chicken spaghetti.
Bum, bum, bum.
I didn't realize it until we were eating and he never said a word.
Oh, my gosh.
I may have been drinking as I was cooking. I had wine. Now I got drunk, I guess.
It happens when you party too hard.
I forgot the
on
chicken.
Your downtime.
It was so fun. So I mean, what are you going to do? He never said a word. He was so polite. And I said, I'm sorry, I forgot the chicken.
You know, at least your heart was in the right place.
It was so funny. But he's the same one.
I bet those were some bomb noodles.
They were great. Lots of cheese going on. Bless my heart. And then he's so funny because he another time he came to town and Rick and I just started dating and I talked about Rick to him and everything. So he wants to like, oh yeah. I just realized why you pointed at it. Okay. Next time I got it.
It's okay.
So he's coming to town and he's going to do a it's Christmas time, and he was moving here, so he was coming for a work thing. But while I was there, well, I had introduced him to a different friend of mine whom we dated for a short time, and so we were all like, let's have a double date. Let's do this double date. So we're gonna get Rick to go into, and he loves Mike. Like Mike is Mr. California, but Rick really liked him. They liked each other a lot.
That's good.
It was good. And every time that I've hung out with Mike since I've dated Rick, Rick's been there. And they get along. And so Mike's entertained by Rick. I mean, you can't not be. He's just,
That's true.
And so he says, we were like, okay, let's meet. Where do you want to meet? But they're both in Dallas, and we're at the time in Rocket and Red Oak. So we're like, all right, let's kind of meet in the middle. So we're in Bishop Arts, which is a part of Dallas. For those of y'all not from Dallas, is like this cool little new place to go to the last like 10 years in Dallas. But it's it was kind of a rough neighborhood prior to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they've got these cool restaurants now, and it's like
if you can brave the elements, there's some pretty cool things.
And if you can find parking, that's
true.
A little rough, especially if you don't have a truck. So we're like, we're gonna meet down there. So Rick has, I don't at this point think ever been to Bishop Arts and has no clue what he's getting into. Mm-hmm. So we go to this bar and meet up there and everything, and it's not a gay bar, but. That particular evening, there was a company party there, and I don't know what they did for a living, but they were all obviously of that community and very nice people. Like, we were chilling with them and everything. And then every bartender was as well for some reason. And they had on really funny Christmas sweaters, and it was like obscene Christmas sweaters. Like there were penises on the sweaters. Yeah. And here's Rick absorbing it all. In his cowboy hat. I mean, imagine Rip from Yellowstone. That's what he dresses like. But this is before Yellowstone existed. That's just beard and everything. Black felt cowboy hat, straight up. That's Rick. And we're sitting there, and Mike is losing his mind laughing so hard. And Rick's great. Like, he's tipping the guy, and like, it's all cool. But of course, he got hit on twice.
Of course.
Who's not going to hit on him? I was like, all right, well, it's time to go. That was good fun. So that's been my outings with Mike. I don't even know how I got on that subject besides this chicken spaghetti and the deer. And this is what happens. The rabbit holes.
We love them.
But bless my heart. Anyway, so that's what we've been doing. So we have lots of deer. Got deer staring at me in the bedroom. I got deer taking up the freezer.
That's what happens when you let a country boy move in with you.
Exactly. I'm not complaining. He is a provider. We are going to have meat.
Well,
yeah. What are you going to do? So you want to talk about the Christmas party?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I had so much fun at Big Al's Christmas party. I'm so happy that I was able to go this year, because last year your stories were great, and I was like, oh, I'm sure that's going to be amazing. So I was glad I got to see his new house. It's beautiful.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
And I asked if there were more people or the same amount of people or less people there this year than there was last year. And he said it was definitely less.
Yes.
But I still felt like it was a pretty good turnout. And, and we weren't too cramped. Do you know what I mean? Like,
the last year it was a little more cramped. And when we did the White Elephant, there were more people and it was a smaller space.
Yeah.
Last year was much more cramped. This year, I didn't feel cramped at all.
Oh, no. But he had a lot of people in his house.
He did. He can fit a lot of people in that house.
I got lost. I went to the bathroom one time. I had been shown, the first time I was shown where it was at, right? Yeah. And it was like a straight shot. So I was like, oh, this is easy. But no, it was not, because I don't know how I ended up.
In that bathroom that I showed you, the one that, I don't know which one you went to the second time, but the one that's in the little hallway with the little nook with the jackets.
Yes.
There's no lock on the door.
No, there's not.
And I'm like,
that's why I actually looked for another bathroom.
Yes.
Because I didn't have you the second time I went. That's when I got lost, because I went without you the second time. Yeah. And then I realized I didn't have anybody to watch that door for me. Right. And it's so far away from
the toilet.
Like, you can't necessarily hold it closed.
No.
So I was like, this is not the situation I want to be in right now.
No.
So I was looking for another bathroom.
Yes.
But I couldn't find one. I got lost.
It's easy to do. It was fun. And the White Elephant, Kelly was very strategic on how she was going to, what she was going to get.
Yes.
So tell them what you did.
Yes. So this is usually what I do when it comes to White Elephant parties is I buy something that I would like. Or something that you would, because I could always pick that gift. You know what I mean?
You know what's in
If it gets to the point where no one has picked my gift, I can pick that gift and I know I'm going to get something I like, you know? And so that's usually what I go for. And if somebody gets it and I see that they really like it, I'll let them take it. You know what I mean? Or maybe I won't. I don't know. It depends on how bad I like it.
Yeah.
And if I've already gone or if I've already had my person, because I always have a person as well. I team up with somebody because that's the second clue. That's the second way to win this game, is to have somebody in your back corner, an ace in the hole, who it has, so they can get something that you want, and
this
you're
is what
going to
Rick
reimburse
was just saying
them.
When Rick just at the house said that his aunt thinks that him and his daughter go in on it together.
I'm like, of course they do. That's what you're supposed to do. That's the game. You're like, but some people get really pissed off at that. So Terry was definitely my secret agent, and he let me know because he was like, because I was like, that I'll get my gift because I really actually wanted my gift.
Yes.
And so he's like, well, if you don't end up getting it, I'll try and get it.
Which he went before you, right?
He did. And so this is another different thing, because some people, you'll get a number and then they go in number order.
Yes.
And then some people, you get a number and then they draw a number from a bucket and then you go in random order.
Right.
Okay. So, and I've played it both ways. So I didn't know if he was before me. His number was before mine, but we were all very close. I think he was like 9.
Yeah. We all went back to back.
I was 11 and you were 12.
Yeah.
Because I remember he was like, who's 10? Because it was us three.
Oh, yeah.
Us three came in together.
Right.
Nobody else was there with us turning in gifts. So it was just us three. And we got 9, 11, and 12.
Yeah.
It was like, where'd number 10 go? I was like, I don't know. But anyways, he got before me. He picked something, right?
Yeah, he went before you and picked yours, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he did. He picked mine.
Yeah.
And so I was like, we had it. Great. Well, then it got stolen from him. But I hadn't gone yet. So then when my number came up, I went and stole it back. So I got it. And then he had to pick something else. And he ended up getting like a really pretty, like faux leather shawl thing over the shoulder. And it was so beautiful. And he showed it off because you have to open it up and show everybody. So he showed what it was. Then he came over. He's like, well, this is yours. And I was like, oh, Terry, you're so sweet.
Aw,
he really is like the best date to have.
He is.
So if anybody's looking for an amazing man to go on a date with, we've got him for you.
Yes. I stole my gift. I stole a black Santa from, I think, Al's son.
Yeah.
Was it his son?
I think or
his friend.
It was his friend that was there with him.
Yes. Because I wanted it was cute.
That black Santa was cute.
It was super
wanted
cute.
The black Santa.
And I was like, and I saw other things and I was like, nah, I need the black Santa. and it is prominently in my living room currently. But then afterwards, our friend Chris Wright, who is like a city councilman, I believe is his title, right? City councilman for Waxahachie, and he's just a really nice guy.
He is.
And Chris was there, and Chris had a painting, and I don't think he even gave it away. I don't know why. I don't think he ever actually gave it to anybody.
Like put it in the thing?
Yeah. I don't know how I ended up with it, but he gave it to me.
I thought that he ended up getting it. Like somebody got it or he picked it out himself.
Maybe he picked out his own gift back.
Yeah, I think he picked out his own gift or took it back from somebody. I don't know.
Might have been the case. But somehow he ended up with it, but he's the one that commissioned someone to paint it.
Yes.
So he said a guy was standing outside painting the courthouse because our little Waxahachie courthouse is kind of famous around the area.
Oh, yeah.
And it's beautiful. And so he saw him painting and goes, hey, how much for you to paint that bar? And so the guy, I don't know what you charged him, but he paints the bar, and it's like, it's just a small little painting, but it's got like the trash can out front, like the dumpster.
Yep. It's an exact painting.
It is so funny. And it's a Christmas setting. They've got the Christmas light on the tree.
It's a good thing it wasn't Friday because they would have the fish fry sign out front too.
Which they had. Oh my God. It's the best thing ever. So my plan, so Chris asked me if I wanted it, and I was like, yes, I want that. That's awesome. So he gave it to me, and I was like, I'm going to put this in the sunroom. I have this room in my house that I call the sunroom because it's got a bunch of windows, but it's like a large hallway into the upstairs. I don't know how to explain this room. It's got a lot of furniture in it, though. It's big. It's big enough for furniture. And anyway, so I have tons of pictures on the walls in that room. I have a wall of like criminals, like Bonnie and Clyde, and some cowboys, my mom, all kinds of for real, and my grandma. And so it's a fun room. And I was like, I'm gonna hang that up in that room and see how long it takes till Rick notices. That was my plan. And, but then I started thinking about it and I was like, I'm going to have to give this to my son because my son Zane, my older son, used to work here, there next door. And when he comes to town, before he comes to my house, he stops at Owl's and has a drink every time. It's his favorite bar.
It's his bar.
Yeah, this is his neighborhood bar. And so I've decided to give, and he's going to love it. Like he is going to love this.
Oh, yeah.
It will be hanging in his home possibly the rest of
awesome.
his life. So that's what I got. They talked about it a little bit on the Kid Craddock show today, but some of our listeners don't listen to the Kid Craddock show because, they know us or they just can't get the show. So I'm going to give a quick rundown of what happened at the thing. We had somebody, Kelly Raspberry's on the show, on the Kid Craddock show, and she was at the party and she got a $75 gift card from Nordstrom somebody brought, why would someone spend that much?
I don't know, but you always have that one person, that one gift that's over budget.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that always happens.
Right.
And people fight over it.
Yeah. I don't know who brought this, but someone brought a $75 gift card for Nordstrom's. And Kelly Raspberry won it, which is perfect for her. Like, that's right up her alley. I'd be like, can I trade this for Tractor Supply?
Well, somebody else got it first.
Oh,
and
they did. She stole it
from that person.
Oh, I didn't even realize she had stolen it.
Oh, yeah, she stole it. When her name came up, somebody had already gotten it.
I don't
and
think she
went
mentioned
over
that on the
and
radio.
I could have sworn this happened.
You're probably right,
I
yeah.
was right there. Well, then, of course, it can be stolen again.
Yes.
And it got stolen from her.
But when it got stolen, the person that stole it didn't either remember she had it or wasn't paying attention. So they were going to pick a gift out of the gift, like under the tree. Mm-hmm. And then somebody else yells from across the room, she's got a $75 gift card to Nordstrom's.
I know. They got called out. They were calling her out because that's why she said, they were like, it's not done yet. Like, you can still be stolen.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, Kelly was not happy with that.
No.
And so they asked her on the thing if she had said when she brought it up on the radio this morning, if she had said anything to the person. She was like, well, I was like, why'd you remind her? You're not supposed to remind them. Like, she was upset about it. And so then they were like, well, did you say anything to her later? And she was like, no, because Al said she was pretty important. Like, this is an important person and don't be going over there.
Yeah,
and saying
just let bygones be bygones.
And that's when I remembered who it was because I had forgotten about the whole incident. It wasn't that big. And I was like, it was my kid's principal. And I had talked to the principal for like 30 minutes because first off, the principal, you don't plan to see your kid's principal at a party. And so she walks up and is talking to Chris Wright that I was talking about, and we're all talking, whatever. And I'm like, you look familiar, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and we realized she's my kid's principal, and she tells me who she is. And I'm like, oh, my kids. Oh, who are your kids? Zaylee and Zol. The look on her face. Yes, I do.
You are correct.
Zaylee told you how close we are. I was like, she's close to every principal. She spends a lot of time there.
Yeah. She wants to really get to know your character.
She goes, we're really working through her anxiety. Oh, we all are.
Yeah. Every single person.
So that's who it was. So that made me laugh even harder. And then one of our listeners sends me a message today, and she was like, okay, I listened to the Kid Craddock show today, and was it you? Are you the one that did it?
Did you do it? I know it was you, Zeta.
And I was like, no.
We didn't get the opportunity because our numbers hadn't been called yet.
I was one of the girls that didn't even pay attention, quite honestly. The only thing I noticed was the Black Santa, and I was sold. I was like, that's all I want. But yeah, so I was like, no, it wasn't me. And she was like, oh, I just thought you were sassy enough you would do it. And I was like, I am sassy enough to do it, but I wasn't going to do it.
No.
And so she started laughing, and I was like, but if it had been Tractor Supply,
now that's another story. Okay?
I would have definitely taken that bitch. So that was our Christmas party.
I had so much fun.
I had a lot of fun too, and it was really fun. Yeah, it was. And so, cheers to next year, and we can have another good one.
I plan on keeping my gift that I got for my family Christmas party too.
You're going to repeat the same?
I went ahead.
You're
already.
really risking it.
I went ahead already and rewrapped it back in my little box because I put it in a box. I'm smart. Also, like doing the bags is also smart too, but things can get ripped and stuff. I always get a little holiday box, and I put it in that. So I put it right back in its box, and that's going to be my present for my for my family's Christmas party.
Brilliant thing I've ever seen. You buy one gift
And I always try to end up
that
with
you
it.
can use at 2 different parties.
Or as many as I go to.
And you keep it still. Like, you've worked this shit out.
Oh, yeah.
This is the funniest. This is brilliant.
Yeah.
It's the haircut. It's the spy haircut.
It's bringing out the best in me and the worst, I guess.
It is Natasha. That's what we've renamed her, Natasha. Amy, Al's wife, Amy, saw her at the party, and the first thing she said was, Natasha?
Like, you cut your hair? And she's like, it's a wig, isn't it? It's a wig. I was like, no, it's not.
She freaked out. It was funny. Anyways, we had a really good time.
Well, it was great.
We did. Anyway, so next thing you want to talk about, what we got next?
What do we have next on our
When
list?
someone doesn't like
okay.
you.
So this is another thing that came to me this weekend. I had a really great weekend. But on Thursday night, we had girls' night. And that was fun. We all went to eat.
Yes.
We went here to the pub on College Street Pub in Waxahachie. We had dinner.
Yeah, if y'all ever come to Waxahachie, if you want some good food,
I suggest the pub.
it's a little English pub.
It is amazing. They're amazing service. The bartenders are amazing. The drinks are amazing. The food is amazing.
Yeah,
The
and it's really
atmosphere,
cute.
They just added on to it. They, extended some more tables outside. And it's a great time of year also because the weather's great right now. You could sit outside.
Yep.
They do have some wild animals though.
Yeah, I went for the dinner. I didn't go for the girls' night. I just went for the dinner portion of it at the pub, and we sat outside in the little dining area.
Yeah.
And we had a visitor.
Yes. A little raccoon.
A little raccoon. And then one of our friends was like, oh, look, it's a kitty. And then we're like, that's a raccoon. And it is just chilling, waiting. So it's like someone's going to throw me some shit. I'm not stupid.
I mean, there is a fence up, but there's plenty of foliage around.
Yes.
And
We have a photo of it
And then there
somewhere.
were cats as well, but they've always had cats.
Yeah, they have bar
see
cats.
They have bar cats. But
Yeah.
it's fun. It's a fun atmosphere.
Yeah, it was fun.
And we saw Nikki. Nikki is one of my favorite bartenders / friends, and I don't get to see her very often though. But we walked in, and
I think
she's
she
like,
listens to the podcast.
"Oh, hi Nikki. Hope you do."
Yeah.
She was like, "Hey, what are you girls up to?" I was like, "Well, I was in town and I wanted to see you, and I was hungry." And she's like, "Oh, well, that's a great combination."
Come right here. Come right here. So yeah, we had dinner there, and then I went home, and because work life, and they went out for their evening.
Yeah, so we went to Big Al's because they do karaoke at Big Al's on Thursday nights. And we usually go to Rocket though, but I wanted to try and keep it local. I tried to do that to make it a little bit easier on everybody, so we're not moving around from place to place. And so we just went right over to Big Al's and to see who was DJing, because I don't have social media, so I can't look up to see who's DJing at Big Al's. And so we came here and we're like, we're going to see who the DJ is, but it wasn't Alex. And I love all the other DJs. They're amazing. Alex is just my favorite.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, we don't have to stay if you don't want to stay. And I was like, no, I want to stay. I'm going to sing a song. So we did a song here. And then we went to, we ended up going to Rocket anyways because we all wanted to go see Alex. So we ended up at Rocket anyways with Alex. And so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All right. But my question though, the thing is, I saw someone this weekend who I get the feeling does not care for me that much. I'm not their favorite person.
Right.
Now, why do I think this? Really, I guess it's just my own personal feelings. Like you can get a vibe off of somebody. You know what I mean? When you're talking to somebody, if they don't really, you can tell if somebody doesn't really want to talk to you. You can tell if somebody's just being nice to you. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I can tell that.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like, I don't expect everybody to like me, but I'm respectful and nice to people even when they don't.
Yeah.
So I feel you.
Well, I feel like when you stop worrying about people liking you, you get to be your most authentic self. You don't want to be a dick or a bitch, but you don't want to be not true to yourself. So I think there's a very fine line. You got to be able to try. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
And so but I didn't have a problem with it. And that's another reason we went ahead and left Al's, because my friends, all my friends, we usually are very close. And I'm the kind of person that, if something's wrong, you can usually kind of sense it.
Yeah. Yeah. You do not hide it well.
What's up? Anyway, so I wasn't going to let it be a big deal because I don't like to let other people dictate what I do. Like, and just because somebody's there that doesn't like me, that doesn't mean I'm going to leave. That doesn't mean I'm going to have any less of a great time.
Right.
But I mean, I appreciate my friends wanting me to, feel safe and feel comfortable and everything like that. But this person, I saw them more than once. So like, how do you act towards people? Like we were also in another setting. They were at the party. And so when you are around somebody who you don't feel cares for you, but I still want to be, especially at a party situation, you want to be social. You want to talk to people who are there. You want to have a good time. You want, and so without being fake, because I don't like to be fake, I'm just nice. I'll be kind to people. I'm going to treat you the way I would treat you if you were my best friend or my worst enemy. You're not going to get any different me. But I will stay away from you, though, if I feel like I'm making you uncomfortable or if you want me to go away.
See, I take it one of two ways. It depends on if I'm feisty Zeta that day.
Depends on who you're dealing with. Okay?
It really does depend on who you're dealing with that day. You can get either one. And I've done two things because it's not rare of me to know someone in the room doesn't like me. I mean, I just have that personality that people really either don't like me or they do. And there's not a lot of people in between. And that seems weird, but I just have a very polarizing personality. It's good or bad. I'm not for everyone.
Yeah.
And I mean, so much. Melindy bought me a sweatshirt that said, I'm not for everybody.
At least you're blunt about it.
I'm not for everybody. And that's cool. Like I used to try to be for everybody and it was exhausting.
Yeah.
And I ended up being someone I didn't like. You know what I mean? I didn't like me. Everybody else did, but I wasn't a big fan. And so I really work on being true to myself. So I'm not always everybody's favorite person. So I go one or two different directions. I am going to be not engaging with you, but not ostracizing you. Kind of like, hey.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's no need for me to talk to you or to waste my time or, I'm not going to make you like me. You either like me or you don't.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you don't. That's cool. I might not like you either. I don't know. I don't like everybody.
Might be mutual.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just, sometimes it bothers me a little bit. Like, like, what was the thing?
I think that's usually it. Like, it usually doesn't bother me, but it does make me wonder.
What was the thing?
I mean, and some people are like, I don't care. And I'm not going to say I don't care when people don't like me. I don't lose any sleep at night.
Well, see, you're not ever rude to people.
Yeah. But I do think, what is it? Well, how did I wrong you?
Yeah.
Like, can I figure out what avenue?
I know it's usually my mouth.
See.
I am well aware that there's a problem. I mean,
let's just say
I know it's my mouth, and some people find it charming, and some people do not.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I get it. I get that.
Yeah. Well, my other direction I go, and typically this is the direction I go for the people that I don't like back. See, if I don't care, like literally, I don't know why you don't like me, and I don't care.
I don't even know you.
Honestly, you were never on my radar.
Yeah.
Type thing. Then whatever. Mm-hmm. But if I know you don't like me and I really don't like you either, I go the opposite direction and I am up your ass all night. We are best friends. I love your outfit. Your hair looks so good like that. Oh my God.
Zeta, are you trying to tell me that you don't really like me?
Yeah. Because then what do they say? Why don't they like me now? Like I'm literally their best friend all night and
yeah, I have nothing bad to say about you. Why do you hate me so much?
Right. And I will be I will buy you shots. Mm-hmm. We are best friends.
Yeah.
And so it just depends on which Zeta you're getting that moment. But yeah, that's really what it boils down to, And but I mean, I guess that's not for everybody, but I mean, I just don't think that you can ever be your authentic self and everybody like you. I just don't think anyone's always likable.
Yeah.
We always have something that's not likable on occasion.
And the more you put yourself out there, the more you open yourself up to that as well.
Right. And I'm pretty open booked compared to most people. Well, people think I'm open booked. There's a lot I don't. If people really knew. I mean, I'm really me. This is me.
It's the tip of the iceberg, fellas.
But it's definitely the tip of the iceberg. Definitely. There's all kinds of problems under here. So that's how I'd handle it. But yeah, that's a good question for asking listeners.
Like, how do you deal with the people that especially when you have to be around them? Like, it could be a coworker situation,
right?
Or it can be a mutual friend situation. Like, you have friends and there's a mutual friend, and that mutual friend doesn't care for you, but you're still part of the friend group. How do you deal when you're all around? Do you let yourself be like ostracized from the group because there's that one person in the group that doesn't like you? Or do you stand your ground and you just be you?
Well, that actually happened to me as well. You know the story. I'm not going to go into detail. But I did have a friend and I have a falling out years ago. And, you know, in my opinion, I stood up for myself. I didn't feel like I was being treated very well. And they kind of just was like, that's cool. Let's just cut ties.
Yeah.
You know, and so we didn't speak for a very long time. And, but they're an integral part of the group. And I didn't dislike the person. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like there was not a dislike for the person. I just felt like maybe they didn't like me, if that makes sense. And so I trying to remove myself from things I thought was important to them. And I didn't want to like ruin the evening for them or make anyone uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I knew the person probably wouldn't come if I was there. So it would, and I, you know, I'm not trying to ostracize someone from a group they've been a part of forever.
Exactly.
And, you know, and so I removed myself from certain events and things I thought were more geared towards things that she would enjoy. And I created my own events and invited the same group. But I also had extended an invitation to her many times. Not from me, from other people. And I legitimately told them, you know this, I legitimately told the person, I am truly inviting her because I don't want her to feel ostracized. And it's silly. It's just all silly. And she doesn't have to hang out with me, even if it's my event.
Yeah.
But this is her friends. And I want her to feel welcome in her friends group. Now, did she ever come up and do those things? No, she did not. But I truly did it because I didn't want to make our friends uncomfortable. I didn't want to be the reason someone wasn't invited somewhere.
Yeah.
If they did something I wasn't invited to, I never took it personal because I felt like it was more geared towards her. So I got it. Like, you know what I mean? There weren't a lot of things. There'd be occasional things. But the same thing happened with her, I guess. So, you know, and actually recently we've actually had a discussion and it went, you know, relatively well to the best of my memory.
Good.
So we did discuss. I haven't talked to her since. Don't know that I will, but it was good to put it out on the table and, you know, let bygones be bygones. And that's why I didn't want to play dirty on that one either, because I thought there was a chance that in the future we'd be in a room together, and I care for my friends as well as her. I always cared for her. I mean, you can't be that close of friends and lose caring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I'm glad it worked out like it did. Would I do that with everybody? Would I extend that gratitude to everybody? Hell no. Hell no. But she was extra special, if that makes sense. But if it's someone that's not so extra special, I'm going to cut you off. You're
Deuces.
done. Yeah, you're out. You're out.
See you later.
And we've had a few people through the years of my friend group that we've lost here and there that have gone by the wayside.
Yeah.
Typically, there is an issue, like a big issue that can't be that can't be ignored.
Yeah,
you know
because this is a group that
it's a lot of big personalities,
and we're very accepting. Like, it's not like you have to be perfect to be part of this group. No. It's not.
In fact, we prefer you be a little messed up.
We embrace you and any kind of mental disorder that you have, any kind of mental help you need, any kind of physical help you need, anything. We will listen. We will try to understand. We will try to console.
But that's the beauty of the group.
And we try to lift you out of things. We try to get you social, get you active, get you out there, get you in the nature.
Yeah.
All these healing things is what we do. So, but we also do not allow people to be poisonous within the
Exactly.
group.
And there's been a few, and those have, unfortunately not worked out in the long run.
Oh.
And so I
we'll
guess
call you out. This is a group that will call you out. And you can get called out two different ways. Get called out and you learn from it, or you get called out and you get butthurt and you go and you don't be part of the group anymore.
And you're done. Yeah.
And we're like, we live and we learn. And you can make a mistake and learn from it, and we're still going to love you and we're going to keep going. Yeah. But don't expect not to be called out if you're like acting a fool.
Right. And if you're consistently acting a fool, then you might not get invited to places where we don't want to deal with fools.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We all have our moments. Don't get me wrong. We have all had our moments.
We've all had our 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah. There's been enough stories where we've all fallen on occasion, literally. No apparent reason.
Maybe it's because it was on gravel and we'd been drinking and we're in wedges.
I mean, yes, that might have been the reason that I had a limp. I think I should get extra points for doing it so gracefully because I laughed. Everybody laughed.
You laughed, and then you stayed on the ground for a while because you're
long time.
I'm good here.
I'm just going to stay here for a while. Everybody ran though, except for my friends that were laughing. But everybody else that saw it came to help me. My friends had to stop laughing.
I didn't. I was trying to find my phone so I could take a picture.
I know you were because Erica was telling you to.
Yes.
Who's got a phone?
Kelly, get your phone. Take a picture.
They're good pictures. They're on Instagram. Y'all look. You got to dig about a year ago. I had a limp for about a month. I was in tall wedges in my defense. It wasn't just alcohol. I mean, didn't help.
It was a perfect storm of things.
It was a perfect storm, and it was funny.
It was.
So, and I looked cute in the hat I was wearing that day. So that's all that mattered.
Really, I mean, that's it.
Yeah. So our next little thing is we're going to have our little Ask the Audience. This is where we're going to bring in our special guest.
Yes.
Okay, so we have our special guest here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. He is Kelly and my date on a regular basis, for the lack of a better word. But Terry, he is, I think we talked about going to his reunion on here, right?
Yes, we did.
So we went to your 55th high school reunion.
Yes.
Waxahachie High School.
Yes.
So he asked Kelly and if I would attend his reunion with him. And how'd that go?
Oh, it was wonderful. What else can I say? Sitting here in front of you.
We got there, and the people at the table were like, he said he had 2 dates.
He's like, I know, I need both of these chairs because I have 2 dates.
Yeah, it was pretty
I wouldn't
funny.
let anybody sit there.
I know, we were told. And he was quite the Mr. Popular, you could tell. He
Yes,
was,
definitely was. I'm glad that we were able to help you shine that night.
Yeah, that was fun. So he also is friends with Al. So he went to the Christmas party with us the other night. And so this is her partner in crime to get her gift. She just outed herself in her whole way of getting her gift the other day. Here's what's funny. She's going to another party this weekend and going to repeat with the same gift.
Yes.
Oh.
And she plans to keep it.
Yeah, I want the same.
She's going to keep it.
But I want to still get it. I'm going to try to
She's
get it
going to
again.
use. She's one gift for 3 parties.
Now, I have a question. Do you have a partner in crime to help you?
Right. There you go.
I don't yet. Oh, well, yeah, I do because Dante's going to be going with me too.
Oh, you've been replaced here. That's not nice.
I always use my boyfriends. So if you're my date, that means you have to be my partner in crime. That's the thing.
I'd offered my services to her. She's like, "Nah, Terry's got me." I was like, I see how it is. All right. Okay. The next morning, I didn't wake up feeling so great. I've not really been drinking lately. And apparently, I drank more than I remembered.
Oh, my gosh.
And Terry goes, the next day, I'm like, I don't think I drank that much. She was like, yes, you did.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too. I imbibed.
Yeah,
heavily.
I was like, well, I just hadn't really been drinking lately, so which is good, and so yeah, I have to be careful with it when I do. Basically, I'm a lightweight now.
Well, we did talk about going to breakfast.
Right, I know, and it did not happen.
Did not happen.
When I didn't get a text back, I called and all I got was hello.
I was like, I'm not moving. I'm
not
moving.
alive.
Yeah.
When I tried to wake up for breakfast and I got out of bed.
She got up and got ready.
I got out of bed and started getting ready, but I realized I was still drunk. So,
Yeah, she turned to me and she was like, I'm still drunk, and I was like, really?
To the hungover stage yet because I was still very drunk.
Yeah, she was giggling. I was like, oh, bless her heart. Nah, bless your heart, bless your heart. So we had a good time with that. So we asked Terry to come on here and do a few questions with us.
Yes.
And so, we got
So
our question.
nothing too deep. I was actually just talking to the kids at the Boys and Girls Club today because I think of questions to ask them too because I like getting their little minds going and everything like that. So one of the things I was asking them is if they do New Year's resolutions, do they know what that is? And have they ever made one? Do they ever try to keep them? Do they get 2 months into the year and then they forget what their New Year's resolution was or whatever? Right. So I was wondering, are you a person who does New Year's resolutions?
I used to.
You used to?
Yes. And my best one ever it's been several years back. I gained more weight than what I've gained now. And I was extremely, extremely big. And, I'm 6'5", so you really couldn't tell a whole lot about it.
Right, but you can tell because,
I can tell. So I made a resolution that I was going to lose 50 pounds over the year.
Yeah.
And I was not on any special diet. I was, doing a little exercise. Mm-hmm. And on December 31st of that year, I stepped on the scales and I had lost 50 pounds.
Oh, wow. To the pound.
Wow.
To the pound.
Wow. That's some good. That's pretty damn accurate.
Since then, I didn't think I could top that, so I don't bank it.
Well, go out with a bang. There you go.
Go in strong there.
Yeah, no kidding. Did you have a resolution this year? Do you do resolutions?
I have before. When I was younger, I always had resolutions when I was younger. I always wanted a new one. Since I've been older, I've made a few, like I did, maybe in my early 20s. But I was thinking about it. I really haven't set New Year's resolutions for myself probably anytime in my 30s. In the last 3 years, definitely not.
No.
I don't know exactly why that is, but I was thinking, I think because a lot of the times they used to be about losing weight. For the longest time, I kind of struggled with, what I wanted my body to look like and what I was comfortable, And now I realize that I love my body just the way it is. So I don't really have goals for myself.
Right.
I like to always try and stay healthy and stay active. And if I do that, I'm always happy with myself. So not having to think of like, oh, what do I want to change about myself? Because I really am really happy with myself. I guess I don't think about doing anything, like not setting goals. Right. And like some people are like, well, you can set like money goals. Like I want to save so much money. And then I'm like, that's not important to me though. Like I don't think about how much money I can make. I don't need a lot of money. I make plenty of money for just myself. I don't have kids. I have enough money for myself. Why do I need to like set goals and spending money? You know what I mean?
It doesn't fit your
If
personality.
I die, I don't have anybody that needs me to have been saving anything to help support them continue living. So it's like money, that's out the window.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about something that some kind of goal that I could set that's not any kind of vain way, like not wanting to make myself look better, not wanting to try and make me more money. Like what's something that I could do that would just make me feel better about myself. I don't know.
Life.
Maybe volunteering more. But then like some people say that, and I'm like, my job basically is volunteer work. I work with the Salvation Army and the Boys and Girls Club.
Right.
I mean, I do a lot of volunteering. So I don't know. I'm kind of stuck on what I
don't know that you have to. I don't have one every year. I don't really set a resolution. I just might set a goal like for me to be better about something, but not like, hey, you got to do this by this date. But it's kind of like, you need to be more organized, girl. You're out of control. Or you need to, little things like that.
You've done a lot of deep cleaning this year.
I have been, So I kept having people die. I don't know how else to put this, but I kept having people very close to me die. I went through a rough last 9 years of people passing. And each time someone passed, I inherited most of their stuff. It's all people I was very close to, So first I got my mom's stuff, and holy shit, it's so much stuff. And on top of, thankfully she was super organized. Mm-hmm. And so that made it very easy. But, you don't want to just part with stuff. Like you're just like, you got to like hold it and decide.
Especially when it's your mom.
Especially when it's your mom's and you have memories attached to it. Like my mom didn't just have junk. My mom had cool shit, so
she wanted to keep it all.
Yes. And it was really hard. And, but you can't keep it all, but like everything she had, I loved. Like it's my taste. Mm-hmm. So anything she had, I'm like, that's better than what I got. I'm chunking my thing and I'm keeping my mom's, But then my stepmother passed away, so I got some of her stuff. And then my grandmother passed away, and I got some of her stuff. And then my brother passed away, and I got some of his stuff. And so I just keep accumulating stuff that isn't so easy to get rid of. Oh, and then my older kids moved out and left stuff. So, how that works out. And then Rick joined us and brought stuff. And I went from basically a 5-bedroom home and had a bonus room that I don't know if you call it a bedroom, into a 3-bedroom home right before COVID hit. So I have a smaller home as well. I mean, it's not small, but it's smaller than I had. And so I had to downsize. And so I've been doing this for 5 years. I swear I've been trying to get rid of crap for 5 years, and I have gotten rid of a lot of crap. When I moved 3 years ago, I purged the hell out of stuff. But lately I've been taking it to the next step. And so I've made a goal every single weekend. So it wasn't really a resolution, but every weekend I pick one thing I have to accomplish that weekend. And it doesn't have to be big. It just needs to be a goal. So it might be I'm going to clean this dresser out. It might be I'm going to clean this closet out. It might be I'm going to reorganize my papers in this drawer. Yeah. It's just, it can't be a whole room because I am ADHD. I'm like Bird. And I'm, and so I'm so easily distracted. And so I have to really make it small so that I'll get it done and I don't get discouraged, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because yesterday I was like, okay, I've got to my house was clean. Yeah, it's pretty clean. So I was like, I guess I'm going to sweep and mop. I do that every Sunday and dust and, do a few things. But my goal yesterday was to clean my couch. I was going to use the vacuum thing, the soap thing, and just, clean my couch and my chair in my living room. And my room there was nothing in that room. I'm wrong. There's not one thing out of place in this room. It is perfect. I was in there 3 hours, and it's tiny, y'all. It's tiny. It's not a big room.
It's tiny.
What the hell was I doing?
I don't know what you were doing. I wasn't there.
I was like, you know what? I really want to put this picture in here. Let me go get it. What am I going to do with that picture that was there? I don't know. Where does that go? Okay, I'll put that over here. Oh, wait. I think I saw a different kind of nail that's better for this in that drawer. Oh, I need to clean this drawer out. What's going on with this drawer? This is...
From a car keys to start with.
Yes. This is literally the problem. And so that's what Rick has noticed since he moved in. We kind of talked about this earlier. Since Rick has moved in, you notice things about someone you live with them. He was like, why does everything take you so long to do? And when we were dating and he would be like, what's your plans today? And he lived at his house and I lived at mine. What are your plans today? I was like, I'm a clean house. All day? Yeah. Is it that messy? No, it's not messy at all. It's clean. Why does it take you all day? I don't know. I don't know why, but it does. It takes me all day. So
I don't know.
That's a real good question. So, but I'm getting it done. And the house is getting where it needs to be. I did have a goal I didn't accomplish this weekend, which was the laundry room, but it was because I was on my ass half a Saturday. Thanks, Terry.
Thanks, Terry. Can I get you another? Do you want me to get you a refill? Do you need a refill?
Yeah.
You are the best. I'm
Yeah.
just joking.
Yeah.
I'm the best what?
Date.
You're the best date.
Yeah. So I don't really do resolutions. I make myself weekly goals to get my life together. I did
That's
buy
good.
myself a new calendar. It wasn't meant to be a resolution, but you get a new planner at the beginning of the year. I don't use my phone for a planner. I like to write. I'm old school.
Yeah, I do too. That's the only way I'm going to remember is
Right.
if I write it down.
So I usually just buy like a weekly planner, like a little basic weekly planner. And I like it a certain size because I write messy and I need a lot of space. And so this year I thought I'm going to get a better planner. I'm going to get me a good planner and I'll be better about my financial stuff because I'm trying to get myself where I'm paying my taxes 4 times a year instead of at the end of the year and hating life. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to get better at this. I'm going to put this amount of money aside and I'm going to do this and, be more responsible. And now I've Rick there. So, I have a little extra money I can put in savings, whatever. So I was like, what kind of are there planners for that? There's got to be planners for that. So I go on Amazon, of course, and I start looking at planners and there's budget planners. Mm-hmm. And I found a budget planner. So I guess it wasn't meant to be a New Year's resolution. It's just because my other planner is about to expire and I had to write a doctor's appointment down. So that's what started the process. And then I got the planner yesterday. Yeah, yesterday it came in. And so today I had it at work and on my lunch break, I'm like filling out some information, like, in the planner, like I was putting in, I put some account numbers in there and that kind of stuff. So I have everything together. And there's not a good spot to write your doctor's appointments. It's all about money. It's all about money. I'm like, what? They don't think I have a life too? Where am I supposed to put down girls' weekend? Yay. I don't know. It came with stickers. Yeah. I need 2 planners. I need my life planner.
That's too much now.
Yeah, I'm not,
I hardly keep up with one. I can't even keep up with the planner. I have just every now and then I have to grab a new little notebook.
Yeah.
And then I lose the notebook and I have to find a new notebook to start writing stuff in.
Or that, yeah. Well, here, the wrecking ball will ask it a question. Will Zeta actually use this planner?
Here we go. Let's see.
I don't have my glasses on. Hang on. This is the wrecking ball from the last episode from y'all. Ain't no way.
Ain't no way.
Ain't no way.
Hey, and I learned that this wrecking ball actually is not broken. It tells the truth. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I remember your question last time.
Actually, no, that's what I meant. It actually doesn't tell the truth.
Oh, it lied.
It's a liar.
It lied. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. All right. So you have another question for him, or we're going to go ahead and pass the wrecking ball?
Do I need to make a New Year's resolutions for myself this year?
And the reckoning ball says.
Ask again, please.
Oh.
Really?
Maybe it's the way you worded it.
Okay. Maybe that. Should I continue trying to think of a New Year's resolution for 2023? I can't see it.
It's dark.
It's so hard.
It's really dark.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That's the kind of respect I want.
All right, what are you going to ask, Terry?
You got one, Terry?
What are you going to ask yourself? Otherwise, we're going to think of one.
I used to travel a lot, but in recent past few years, I've quit because of circumstances that I've been going through.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I start traveling again?
Ooh, that's a good one. There you go. You got to, when you pull it up, you got to make it flat because that triangle, it's a fighter sometimes. You can't figure it out. Give it to one. We had to really play with it to learn how to do the triangle.
You got to play with it.
That's what he said.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Maybe, you know how it's always wrong? I think that it switched
all
us.
up.
I think I don't have to worry about a New Year's resolution, and you are good to go, sir.
Okay.
And I'm going to use my planner.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. That's the one thing it was good on.
You never know. You never know. All right. So we got an awesome review.
Oh, my gosh. We sure did.
Do you ever look when you listen? Because Terry listens to the podcast too. Do you ever look at the Apple reviews? Do you ever leave reviews? Are you a review type of guy?
I have not.
No. Okay. I gotten better about it since doing the podcast because now I realize what it means to me. So now I try to leave reviews, good ones. I'm not a bad reviewer because why waste your time?
Well, I mean,
I like to give funny ones on Amazon though, so I can entertain other people.
I got to tell you, I enjoy listening to y'all's podcast.
Aw, he might be partial.
It brings a lot of things to my mind that women go through
Right.
that I don't even think about.
Yeah.
So it's enlightened me as to, hey,
You're like, dang it, why didn't I hear this 30 years ago? I mean, this could have changed some major things in your life if you had known this. I tried to tell Rick and he doesn't want to listen.
I think he's smart, though, honestly.
Yeah. He goes, I ain't listening to
I
that
thought
shit.
about this the other day. I was thinking, because we've both mentioned that we don't think that our significant other listens to the podcast. Neither of us has told them not to listen.
Right.
But
Oh, I know Rick doesn't. He told me he has heard all my stories before. He's right.
I'm good.
He can
We're
repeat
fine.
most of them.
I haven't asked, and so I don't know if he does or not. I know that he does promote it though. Like he'll tell people, just like Rick does. He'll
Yeah.
tell people that I do it and everything like that. And like he shared things that I've done before, like on social media, like
Yeah.
the video that I'm in with Erica. He shared that and stuff like that. He definitely supports me in every way, shape, and form. But I don't know if he listens, and I haven't asked him, and he has never said if he does or not. And I feel like it's because he just wants me to have this, you know,
We can be
so
comfortable.
so I don't have to worry about what I say or, you know, making, you know what, I don't know. I just feel like that's what he does. But he said something over the weekend, and I think that it was something along the lines of giving me my space or making sure that he always, you know, whatever, doesn't, you know, we give each other our own space and we don't, you know, don't try to smother each other. And I don't know if that was just something that came about or if he
was listening.
or if he's listening. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know.
Interesting.
I still think that he might be a serial killer, though.
Yeah, Terry, have you heard this part yet? That's a story.
We're
not sure.
My poor boyfriend, he has been sick. He got sick, but you know he is a man, so he's still going to work. He works in a crane, so he doesn't really have to get around anybody else.
Yeah.
So he's the only one that uses it, so he can still go to work. He'll still go to work.
Yeah.
You know, he'll work through anything.
That was like Rick was sick, the week before last, and I'm telling you, he was going to work all day roofing, commercial roofing, and then coming home and twiddling around with shit like he does, making belts and stuff, whatever he's making that day. And then he goes to bed and he sweats his ass off, and he was like, "Oh, I'm just sweating out the sickness I got. I'm pretty sure he had the flu."
probably.
He was like, "Oh, I'm just sweating this out." And I'm telling you, I had to wash my sheets 3 times that week because they were just covered in sweat. And I thought he was exaggerating. And then I went to make the bed and, you know, because of the blanket. And then I pulled the sheet back and there's like an outline of his body. And I'm like, dude. He was like, "I told you I'm sweating it out. That's what you do."
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm like, okay, you
Well-
really are sick. I thought you were lying because he didn't act it all day.
You know. Well, apparently Dante has been sick, and he told me it was the next morning. I can't remember what morning it was, but he's like, "Van, you didn't budge an inch last night." He's like, he was sick. I guess he threw up too, and so he had gotten up, had to clean up everything, and he's like, "And you didn't even notice." Well, I sleep with earplugs in, and I usually
Yeah.
have a mask on my face and everything, so I'm not going to know what's going on anyways. But I kind of feel like he was just covering up that because he's like out of bed for forever, you know,
Yeah.
like cleaning stuff up, doing stuff or whatever, and then came back to bed, and I never moved, and I was like, or you cleaned up a murder scene, and that's what I missed
happened.
out on.
You're living with Dexter.
You're just
don't even
coming
know
up
it.
with an alibi. You were sick, and you had to go clean up. Well, okay, sure, whatever.
That's what's really going on. Well, when before we came in here to record, Kelly met me at my house, and I made lasagna for dinner. So she sat down for dinner with us before we came up here, and with Rick. And Rick's talking about how his buddy's wife listens to the show, which I knew she listened to the show. And but then her son, hi Jenny, her son works with Rick right now, and he's young, like right out of high school. And so his mom tells him funny stuff that I say about Rick, and then he makes fun of Rick
at work. I love that it's coming full circle.
Full circle. That's what was the master plan of the entire podcast. And his new thing now is every time he says something he thinks it's funny, he's going to talk about it on his podcast.
I saw that today.
Yeah, I put it on Facebook because
his podcast.
he talks about it. He says it all the time. So last night I'm making dinner and he is sitting at the table. He does that a lot. He'll sit there and visit with me, kind of like what you do. He does exactly the same thing. Oh, yeah. Sits at the table while I'm cooking and we visit. And he'll help too. He cooks a lot. And so he's sitting there last night, and I'm being a little grumpy last night, to put it lightly. I wasn't feeling real great, and by the end of the night, I was ready to go to bed, and I'd had enough of everybody. And I wasn't being mean.
You were just being done.
I would just don't get in my way in my kitchen at the moment type thing. And so I'm being a little bit sassy. I didn't realize even how sassy I was being, but I was. And so my dad, as we're talking and I'm being sassy, texts Rick. And he goes, hey, did you get a big buck this weekend? And my dad loves Rick. And my dad, the big old hippie. And did you get a buck this weekend? He goes, no, but your daughter's being real sassy right now.
He told on you.
He did. And my dad texts back and he was like, that's how she is all the time. And then a bunch of like funny emojis and laughing. And Rick's mom doesn't always care for me. We don't really have a relationship. And I was like, oh, I wonder what would happen if I text that to your mom. Oh, wait, I think I'm blocked.
Ain't going to get no emojis from her.
No emojis coming back from the finger. I'm just kidding. That's all a joke, y'all. This is all for comedy.
Just for comedy
She
purposes.
loves me. I'm her favorite.
Look, she just sent me a laughing emoji.
Yeah, I just got it. It looks like a finger, but that's not it. Anyway, so let's read our review because this is, I always say this is my favorite review, and then we get another review, and I'm like, okay,
they're
this is
just
my
getting
favorite.
better and better.
I think they're starting to compete with each other.
I applaud you.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay, so this review is, I'm always horrible with the names.
Because they get so creative.
It's BN Cholera. I don't know. It's BNCA. What is this? LLIERA. How would you pronounce that? I don't know.
I wouldn't. I would just spell it. I would not pronounce
it. But thank you so much for your 5-star review. And it says, hey girl, hey. Well, bless my very own Texas heart. Zeta and Kelly make me feel like I'm just sitting on my front porch with my closest girlfriends, rocking in our rocking chairs and swinging on that porch swing while drinking some sun tea, gabbing about life. I've been listening to y'all while I'm running around being the CEO of my house of all boys. I noticed my husband's in the background starting to listen in some. He totally identifies with Rick. I identify with Zeta. It wouldn't be because I actually know her or anything. I love the relationship between the two of you. The acceptance of each other just as you are. One religious, one not very religious, one older and one younger, one a mom and one not a mom, but it's all the same level of respect. I get such a woman's woman vibe from being without hating. I get such a women's women vibe, but without hating on men. Thank you for showing listeners in other parts of the country or even the world that Southern women are diverse and amazing as all women are. Super proud to be a North Texan when I listen to y'all, sending you both all my blessings and support to take this podcast to wherever you want it to go. Now hurry up with the next episode.
Isn't that cute? That was a good one. So yeah, thanks a lot for the reviews, everybody. And I also get a lot of messages from listeners. And I got one that sent me today and asked me to help her figure out a name for her car.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
got a black Suburban. This is where we're at right now.
Yeah.
As I suggested Wednesday, like Wednesday Adams, because that's a big
I
deal
have
right
to
now.
be a fan. That's a fan.
That's a good one. And then I talked about this one earlier where the one listener messaged me and said that she thought it was me that stole Kelly Raspberry's gift, because that sounded like something I would do.
It does.
But it wasn't. And then other little funny ones, like I just get sweet little funny messages, or like they'll send me things that remind them of me, like little messages, whatever. And it's just the sweetest thing. So I just really appreciate it whenever y'all reach out. And you can find us on social media. I am Zeta Owens on Facebook. Kelly is not on Facebook.
Sorry.
And I am.
Are you on Facebook, Terry?
Do you
I'm on
want
Facebook.
people to find you on Facebook
If they want.
if they want?
Tell them your first and last name.
Terry, Terry, Connor, Connor.
You can look him up and see how handsome he is.
Yes, and I'll post a picture. and then
And I thought that we had forgot to take our picture at the party. And
I got
we
one.
Didn't.
Paul sent it to me.
Okay.
Also,
Oh, I need you to email it to me because
Okay.
you know you can't send it to my phone.
Yeah.
I can't get any kind of multimedia messages on my phone, so it'll just be like, oh, somebody sent you something, but we're not going to let you see it. Ha ha ha.
You
So
have a
I'm
flip
You're
phone.
mean.
It's not
So make
1997.
sure you email it to me so I can get it. That's
and
awesome.
Kelly is on Instagram,
Yes, I'm on Instagram. I'm Kelly Lady Pearl.
and I am Z Mamacita. And our she has to say our email because I never can remember.
Our email is what our podcast name is, Two Sides in the Truth Podcast @outlook.com.
Correct. So yeah, send us a message,
Send
leave
us
a review,
messages.
and share, please, and like, please, and all that good stuff.
Yeah. And let us know if you want to be on an episode, if you'd like us to give you a call to answer a question, or if you are local, come in the studio to answer a question. So
Yeah,
we're
let us
always
know.
open for that, or new topics of conversations. Or if you want to write us an email and us read it out and talk about it, that's also available. So just let us know.
Yep, we're here for it.
All right.
And that's it. That
We
sums
love
up
y'all.
everything. We love y'all,
you.
and thanks for coming.
Thank
Terry.
you so much, Terry, for coming on. You're my favorite.
I enjoyed it.
All right, and we'll join y'all one more time. And this will be the week of Christmas episode.
I do believe so.
Yeah, so Merry Christmas.
And we love you guys. Bye.